Previously, the group shared the little information various people had on Elithids and discussed what their options were for getting out of the city. They decided that August could teleport everyone, including Sod and Indra, back to Little Axe Hill. They'd leave the two of them with Kess's family, and then Adria could get the group back to the island via tree, which would conveniently also put them outside of the city walls. Ren settled in to have a talk with his father. It was less prayer and more meditation, but Ren got some answers as well as a boon. Adria, August, and Isaac left to visit a well-respected man in the city named Revere Surratt, who had no patience for politicians. August hoped he might be able to provide them with information and possibly be an ally, since they needed all the friends they could get. When they arrived at where his office was, they met a very well-built woman named Saku, who waved them in his direction. Ramir, an older dwarf, was both surprised and not to hear that there were mind flayers on the island, as he'd known that the politicians in power were hiding things from him. He believed the group's story and gave them more information on the mines. He also confirmed that he was almost certain whatever it was that kept the islands afloat wasn't in the mines themselves, which had been a concern of the group as they didn't want to accidentally send the island plummeting if they went with their potential plan to crack the bottom of the island. He also made it clear that if they could determine who it was behind everything and get proof of it, he'd make certain whoever it was taken out of the picture. Permanently. It turned out that Saku was very good with explosives, and Ramir trusted her enough to suggest the group fill her in on what was happening. She was very enthusiastic about helping blow things up, and they invited her to come back to Axe Hill with them to buy supplies. Saku agreed to meet up with the group at Indra's home in a few hours, as she lived in the slums as well and knew the general location. Adria, August, and Isaac headed out to fill the others in on what they'd found out and get ready to teleport off the island. And that is where we left off.